So the way we do this in the real world, right, is you've got a constitution, then you have law, then you have contract, right? So constitution, laws that you cannot elect somebody to just arbitrarily change. You need a huge consensus before you can change the constitution. Laws can be made a little more easily than that. You can have a simple majority, you get a law passed. Contract, you just need two different people to agree that that's the deal and they write it down. And the Constitution regulates law, and then law regulates contract, civil law. So, the notion that you have a chain which can never revert a transaction is fine, as long as it's possible to undo the damage done by a fraud by creating a new transaction, right? So if I have a smart contract, and that smart contract allows me to kill 25,000 tokens that somebody stole, and then reissue 25,000 tokens to their rightful owner, that's an easy thing to implement technically, and then you have to decide under what conditions is that transaction permissible. Who gets to decide? So, maybe you decide that you're going to have 131 voters and you need 61 of them to make an agreement that that is a thing that ought to happen, and those voting keys are handed out at the beginning of the process. All of these kinds of processes, as long as you set the rules of the game before the smart contracts are instantiated, then when somebody puts value into the system, they put the value into the smart contract knowing what the procedures is for doing a correction of a hack or a refund or whatever else it happens to be. And you can imagine a situation where you've got two tokens that have identical economic rights, but one of them operates in a paradigm where you've got a kind of committee that has the ability to authorize a rollback. The other operates in a paradigm where once the money is moved, there's no way to get it back. Those provisions are not in the smart contracts. And somebody can decide for any given piece of value whether they want it to be in one regime or another regime. And that sort of approach to governance is very easy to do technically, right? It's not rocket surgery. It's, 50 lines are in or out of the smart contract. The hard part is conceptually understanding that when we say governance, what it literally means is constitution, then law, then contract, and technical implementations of constitutionality, then law, then contract. You need decision makers, you need decision procedures. We could easily implement something that looked like a jury trial on chain. You could do that, it's not hard, you're just counting votes. All of these kinds of processes, for all the work that's been done on DAOs, we still have not seen people roll their sleeves up and get down on this stuff. It's the road is wide open. Somebody wants to come to Mattereum and say, right, build us something that looks like a constitutional republic on chain with all the associated machinery of governance for changing laws and rules and issuance. We can do it. We're ready to roll, but we need people to be pulling these kind of solutions into reality. We have the capability to ship any of this stuff, but we don't have as clients that demand it yet.